Hello, everyone. This is the Byrd Real Estate Podcast Show. I am Bruce Byrd Jr. I am your host. Our mission here is just not to educate, but to motivate other like-minded individuals to take that leap of faith. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a real estate investor, or you're just scared, this is the platform where we educate and motivate. On today's episode, we have a special guest. His name is Kevin Davis. He's a father. He's a system fanatic, a real estate transaction engineer. He holds a bachelor's degree in finance. His primary passion is business development. He's an active real estate investor, and he specializes in helping real estate professionals optimize and execute highly effective business practices and processes to maximize investment opportunity. And he also is from Baltimore, Maryland. Can you guys help me welcome real estate mogul Kevin Davis? How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing well, Bruce, and yourself?
I'm doing great. I want to say I'm honored. I really appreciate you coming on my platform to give education. I know it's going to be a great interview. So where I want to start off first topic is tell us about you. Where are you from? Tell us about the marriage life, family life. We want to know everything.
Yeah, gotcha. So first and foremost, thank you. I appreciate you having me on your podcast and providing the opportunity to share my story, my experience in real estate with your viewers. And I'm looking to simply provide some insight to the world of real estate for those that may be interested in getting involved and give them that kicking spirit. So I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, first and foremost. So anyone who thinks that you need a ton of cash to get into real estate, you don't have to. There's certainly different techniques and different things that you can do to really be able to bolster your abilities and your probabilities. So first and foremost, like you mentioned, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, originally. I live a little bit outside of Baltimore. My wife and my kids and dog and what have you. Speaking of family, I just had an infant 6 months ago. So, yeah, 3 girls and 1 boy, and we're done. So you can tell my life is pretty busy. I stay, busy with whether it be my wife and us spending time together or spending time with our kids and definitely, spending time in our real estate business. My wife is actually a realtor as well. So our income encompasses or is revolved around real estate all the way around. Whether that's teaching others how to, get involved in real estate, whether investing ourselves or, my wife representing clients or managing properties. We just, that's kind of where we are and what we've put our stake in the ground, so to speak, in terms of our income and employment. In terms of me, I'm an avid family man. I love spending time with family. Just trying to buy back as much time as possible. As we all know, that's the one thing that you cannot replace is time. For most people, they're chasing dollars. I've been highly successful. I've been close to broke. I've been, run the gamut of both. And in business, it sometimes depending on when you catch a business owner. There's a lot of different things going on, opportunities you may be taking advantage of, or things that may not have gone your way. But I always say money comes and goes, but the experience, the life experience, and the time that you spend is the one thing you can't get back. So my focus has always been on, providing as much value to my life as possible with what time I have and whatever capital I have to do so. So a little bit of long-winded, but that's kind of a brief synopsis of who I am and what I like to do and, my background.
I like what you said about that. Definitely with time, people don't understand that time is the most precious thing you don't get back. So how do you schedule your time? Is that what people need to learn to manage? I see that Kevin, you manage your time with family. What really matters the most, that's time you don't get back. Like you said, money is always there. It's always getting printed, but as family is not just a motivator, but it's a crutch to our livelihood, and without family, what is life?
What's the
what is
point?
right. So what are some of your personal strengths?
Oh man, let's see. So I will say, just kind of piggybacking on, business ups and downs. One of the things that I pride myself on is, being able to keep going when, in some cases, it seems as though things are not going your way. I've been through a tremendous amount of ups and downs in business, whether the market, as of this podcast today, November of 2022, real estate as well as the world of business is just going nuts because of these, interest rate hikes and everything else. But, I would say my strength is being able to kind of get some insight out of whatever situation is, being able to say, okay, well, things may be down or things may be great. What should I focus on? What's going to hold me back, what's going to push me forward, and just having that broad view of where I want to go, in terms of just really trying to make certain that I keep the ball moving forward and that I keep eye on the prize and all those quote type of things. But between that and again just being family oriented, I think that just grounds me, especially with young kids and obviously older kids who test you as well. That I would say is just kind of my compass is really saying, hey, what's important, and focusing on that, and just anything that distracts me, just kind of trying to make certain that it stays out of my peripheral.
That's excellent. What's your personal mission in life?
Oh man. It's quite honestly, my personal mission would be moving the ball forward, and on a personal level in my family. As I said, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Any chance that I can get to impact some sort of knowledge to my younger family members, be extended or immediate, I always try and do so. But I also carry that same passion with other investors that I meet. I meet a lot of new investors or wannabe individuals who are trying to break into real estate, trying to figure their life out and things like that. And just teaching what I can, what lessons I've learned, and helping them get over that curve a little faster than I did is probably what I can say my best passion is. I just love teaching. I love being able to take that time out to show exactly what works. What's working for me, what's worked for business partners, associates, and industry peers that I may admire or work with, and that has continued to give me the energy to move forward, because business is draining. As sometimes it just gets monotonous, but with that general idea that I can help others, that I can push the ball forward with them, it gives me the energy that I need to continue to move forward.
Yeah, that's good. I want to know more about the marriage life.
Oh man.
Yeah. I want to give, because I believe in business. About being equally yoked. And that's that backbone. So tell us or other viewers about the significance of having a significant other, or healthy marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: marriage is, like anything in life, difficult, and I wholeheartedly agree that you have to have what I would call just balance, and sometimes that balance is out of whack. If you don't have that insight to really understand, okay, well, is there something that I need to do more that my spouse needs from me, or is there something I need to speak up about that I need from my spouse, or is there times when things are up and down. I'm of the opinion that me and my wife, we don't believe in divorce. We're not a situation where we have not gone through trials and tribulations, but ultimately we say, okay, if we're going to be together, and we're fairly young, we got married, maybe I think at this point we're 11-year anniversary next year. We said, okay, well, I mean, if we're going the distance, if we're going that 40, 50, 60 year, 70 year, whatever year marriage, then there's going to be times that it's up and there's going to be times that it's down. Can we see the long-term goal? Can we see the goal of pushing our family forward? And I mean, certainly our immediate family, right now, but obviously extended if we can. And quite frankly, it's not always easy. We both have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit, so that helps. Being able to communicate with each other and understand exactly what's happening, what we're going through, and maybe even leaning on each other a little bit with things. So I find it is just exuberating. My wife and I won't say we're polar opposites, but she's more of the fun one. Hey, coming up with ideas for the family and, trying to figure out things that we can do to, continue to be exciting. Me personally, I'll lock myself in a room and work for 12 hours if she'll let me. And then every, couple months, every whatever, hey, let's, take a trip. Hey, let's, go and do this and do that, so that balance is very important. I've been able to make some adjustments with my work-life balance, and she's been able to make some adjustments, and we've just been able to bring some value to each other, and quite honestly continue to recognize our growth. I'm of the opinion, I know I get on a little bit of a tangent, but I always say that you have to relearn your spouse, I would say every 7 years, because people they're not the same person. And unless you're continually taking observation, taking note of this person's, new passions or their new, idiosyncrasies, the things that may bother them, things that they may like that they picked up, or things that they've just gotten over as they got older. All of these things happen in our life, and things happen to us and happen for us as well. And, it changes us. And so if you don't sit there and understand that, hey, this may not be the same, man or woman that I've married, whatever number of years ago, or, if you're dating or whatever the case may be, then oftentimes you'll lose that connection. One thing you want to do is stay connected, whether that be personally or, business or what have you, or your personal relationships. Staying connected and understanding that common ground, I believe, is a very big key part of that.
Interesting. Yeah, you gave a lot of wisdom, not just just people our age, but the younger generation too, because I believe even the younger generation is lost in society of maybe music, television. So we live in a lost time, and I wanted to really point out that, so we can educate people on things that's can be beneficiary to our lives. So we about to jump to the discussion two, the topic two, which is, tell us about your first success in real estate. Let's go to real estate now.
Oh man. All right. So I've had a lot of ups and downs in real estate. I'll be honest. Our primary business is the niche of wholesaling. So in real estate, you can choose many different things, whether it be becoming an agent or a broker, or being an investor that buys and sells property immediately, rental property. So I've had a little bit of dabble of all of it. In real estate, I've done I like to say almost every transaction type. I'm what you would call a transaction engineer. So I like to essentially see, okay, well, what do I have in front of me? How can I add value to that party that we're trying to get a deal done with, and how is that also going to translate to value for me? So in our business, we've had the the benefit and privilege to be self-employed for the last 8 years. I've been in the business for 15. Sustained and continue to grow. We've owned multiple properties. We've sold many properties. We've taught individuals how to specifically in the niche of wholesaling, how to understand how to work with individuals. And in my opinion, every investor should have wholesaling as what I would call a tool in their tool belt. There's different techniques you can do in real estate, and if you've done any type of real estate, you might have heard of all the shiny, what we call shiny objects. The short sale this and the creative financing that and the blah blah. I mean, there's a lot of different niches, all of which are great. Personal preference, whatever you kind of gravitate towards, what your skill set allows you to be very fruitful in is wonderful. I personally love finding homeowners, being able to put together deals, whether that's creative deals, whether it's a one-off transaction, whether it's a rental property or a flip. I like to figure out, okay, well, what's the best opportunity here, and be able to go forward with that. We've been able to do a lot of different deals at this point, hundreds, maybe even a couple thousand deals, both alone in our own business as well as partnering with others and our students and many other people. So in terms of real estate, I just love the flexibility. I love the time freedom that I get, although sometimes it's that 10 to 12 hour day. But ultimately, my goal is simply to continue to educate and be able to take advantage of whatever market comes. We go through cycles in markets where people may not know. Hey, okay, it's a crazy market. The sky's falling right now. In my world, the investors I know and myself, we're looking at it as opportunity because we know what comes, after. We know what happens during. We know, because we've seen these types of markets turn over before. And so it's a great situation to, have foresight to be able to say, okay, well, how do I prepare to move forward? So right now within our business, we're looking for more partners. We're looking for people that are interested in getting a return on their investment. If they have 401ks they're not using, or they have IRAs that we can take and get them a return on their investment by lending us that capital to invest in real estate. We're also continuing to revamp our academy. Our wholesaling REI Academy is where we actually teach investors how to wholesale, how to put together deals, how to understand marketing, the tools and things you need. So ultimately, we're looking to continue to see the landscape and be able to grow from it and be able to take others along the way, whether that's as a private investor for us, whether that's as a student for us, whether that's someone who's bird dogging, sort of quote unquote, to find deals for us, or quite frankly, simply to put together networking opportunities for others in our space for us to be able to continue to branch off and really grow our network.
That's I think you hit it right on the nose with the different avenues you can take, because people just think of just one avenue. When real estate is a lot of avenues, a lot of ways to get in, and people just think and they just get scared. I'm gonna wait till next year when I get cash, or wait until 5 years I'll be ready. But really, in real estate, you can do real estate with $0 down wholesaling,
Absolutely.
and so it's a lot of avenues, and that's the whole point of this platform, is to educate people like you just discussed of the avenues. So we're gonna go to topic 3. Tell us about what you're doing now. Do you have any other businesses besides real estate, or books or anything? What's you up to now?
So I have some really strong ideas around that. I'm of the opinion that if you put all your eggs in one basket and actually carry that basket, well, then you should do well. Attention should not be split up on two, unless you're at the point where that business that you're focused on is self-sufficient. So right now, I'm still hands-on in my business. We've had employees, we downsized in some cases, but ultimately my focus right now is on our wholesaling business, continuing to make that grow. So our leads and opportunities continue to grow for us in our own personal portfolio. as well as teaching others. Anything outside of that, I'll do a little bit of consulting here or there, but I try and keep my focus very tight because I know I can go off on a tangent. I love business. I love, digging in and figuring out, okay, well, what do your operations look like? What do you need systems wise? How does this look for return on investment? How does this, all the different pieces of a business I can dive deep in, knowing my personal, stance on really trying to figure out how to make a business profitable. I can get lost in the weeds. So I prefer to focus on those key businesses, my two businesses that we're doing right now. And as opportunity comes up, we'll evaluate, but most likely it's a no, for me, because, until you get to a point where it's self-sustaining, the day I can walk away and say, okay, I don't have to pick up a phone. I don't have to do anything in my business and it still generates income for me is the day I can take a look and say, okay, now I can turn my attention to something else. But otherwise, if I take my eye off the ball, I just don't think I'll get the best return that I want. And quite honestly, I love what I do. So, I can't really say that something else has, pulled my coattail, so to speak, to really branch off and do something else heavily at the moment. So that's kind of, where I'm at. Have some ideas around some other businesses in the future, but at the moment, I'm pretty set in real estate and coaching.
Okay, I got a question. Okay, so you got started in real estate, what, 15 years ago?
About 15, maybe a little bit after.
What would you tell your old self?
Oh, man. It's
With all
funny
the
you
knowledge.
say that. It is quite funny you say that. I'm going to tell you a short story about how I did have to tell my old self. So started, 2000 and I believe maybe 6 or 5 or 4, somewhere around there in real estate, working with another investor. And we did a ton of deals, right off the bat. I learned a ton. I had some experience in construction already, so it helped me out. But I really did a lot in terms of deals, managing projects, teaching others. And then the market crashed, 2008, 2009. I was literally, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she was pregnant. So as opposed to staying in the business, I said, you know what, I need something a little bit more stable. I was young. And, at that time, I said, I went and said, okay, I need to keep my skills honed. So I went and worked for, at the time, I worked for a Fannie Mae backed service provider. So I did short sales for the bank. So I had that experience on the banking side to understand where they're coming from. And then I went on after that job, which lasted about a year and a half, to work in a credit consulting, essentially debt settlement, company, where I negotiated with lawyers and people to settle consumer debt. Long story short, after a while, I said, okay, the real estate is where I really want to be, but I hadn't had a ton of money saved up, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to take a stab at it. So prior to leaving my job, I started reaching out to other investors to say, hey, well, maybe I can work with them, maybe I can do some business with them. And the thing I found out is that I knew way more than they did, even though they were in real estate, have had some successes. So from that, it allowed me to really sit back and say, okay, well, wait a minute. What are my skills? And this is where I kind of start every student that I work with. Like, what skills do you already have that you can apply, as opposed to starting from the ground floor? Most people have some sort of skills, whether that's people skills, whether that's technical skills, whether that is management skills, whether that is, some sort of skill you've gotten, even if I would say even a high school student or somebody coming out, they have some sort of skills, whether it's just being a people person. That's a skill. That's a sales skill, quite frankly. So going back to your question, I would tell myself, listen, take a good assessment of exactly what you know. Figure out where you can provide value and really hone in and provide that value to that person. You'll always get that benefit back if you pick the right individuals and network to work with. So personally, I was able to, my first year back in the real estate after taking, a couple years off with nothing to start, I was able to do over 100,000 that first year. just based on relationships. I spent $0 in marketing, but what I did is come in and provide value. I taught how to manage their processes, how to build their systems, what type of CRMs, and how to track things, and how to make certain that you saw what ROI was. So I was able to simply just take my skills and say, okay, you have opportunity. I can show you how to take that opportunity and turn it over into profit, but we're going to split the difference. Not working for anyone. It was a simple, straight partnership. If I didn't, it's one of those kill and eat situations. If I didn't kill, I didn't eat. And, me and my wife like to eat, we like to, So that is what I would say going back is that, hey, look, understand that you bring value wherever you are. Understand that you can provide value, and if you pick the right relationships and the right individuals, and I'm not long story short, but there were 3 individuals that I wanted to partner up with, and only one of them worked out. The other 2 just, situations didn't, work out. But I was able to, just from those 3 relationships, put together a full income that I was able to support my family with in that full year, and I've continued to do so, year after year after. So just looking back, hey, understand you have value, figure out your network, plug in, and always continue to learn. There's always something additional to learn, some additional techniques, someone who has, much more, experience than you and what you're looking to do. Lean on that, provide value to them, and, get that experience by doing things beside a partner or even, working for them. And you'll definitely get ahead if you continue to keep the ball moving forward.
Man, you just gave a lot of jewels, and I pray they caught on to it, and because like this is years, over
Absolutely.
a decade worth of knowledge you just gave on how to really get in, and from the back door, front door, side door, like
Absolutely.
so many doors to get into real estate. But since we summon this interview up, how can the viewers get in contact with Kevin?
So I always say, the easiest this 2022 is social media. You can find me on Facebook, Kevin Davis. You can find me at wholesalingreiacademy.com, where we provide some information on our mentorship program. I'm on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. KD Invest, and Instagram, 1KD Forever Flips Houses. Other than that, I'm all over Facebook. I'm always in different groups and different investing groups. Speaking as I can. Now having an infant, a little bit older, I can start speaking again. So, if you want to get a hold of me, Instagram or Facebook, I would say is the best mode. And I will be launching some. It's crazy. I know we're wrapping up here, but I have all of this content that I used to do. I used to host Buy Baltimore meetup before pandemic, happened, and I have all this content, and I never went on YouTube, and I should have gone on YouTube. Just sharing that information. So that's something that we're adding to our plate to really launch here in the next couple months to get on YouTube and provide as much value as we can to people in the market that they can take advantage of and hopefully add something to their life that they can use to be successful as well.
That's awesome, man. This interview been very, very not just informative but great. Like just to hear a mogul for a decade give so much knowledge and still got so much knowledge just dwelling in them. If you guys heard how to get in contact with Kevin, please do. From Baltimore to wherever you may live or stay, just give him a call. He's willing to help. I appreciate you coming on my platform, Kevin. I look forward to hearing from you, doing other things with you. I am your host, Bruce Byrd. Until we see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Catch you guys.